यो सहस्रं सहस्रेण संगामे मानुषेजिने एकं च जेयमत्तानं सवे संगामयुत्तमो. This sayings of the Buddha you can find in Dhammapada. The meaning of this saying is, one who fight in the battlefield and topple thousands of others and win the battle. But even then, he never realized, he never conquered himself. Although he could manage to win the battle, he has created so many enemies. So many other enemies are waiting to kill him also. His mind also not pure. He knows he has done a bad thing. Therefore we cannot say that he has won the battle. This is the way how the Buddha explained, if a person really wants to win, he must know how to control himself or herself. The biggest problem that we are facing is this. We know many things in this world. According to our education, so many scientific, worldly, material, philosophical, religious subject. Our knowledge is very vast. But still we do not know the nature of our own mind. We cannot trust others, but we cannot trust our own mind. Mind is very unreliable, changeable. Circumstances, temptation, irritation, disturbances change the mind. A religious man, a cultured man, well-educated man can become very nasty, very cruel, very wicked, very harmful person. That is why I told you, is very unreliable. The reason is, we are keeping all the evil forces underground in our mind. Use only normal mind by showing others we are cultured or civilized or religious or good people. But when we analyze the nature of the mind, we can understand the mind is not pure. We are controlling evil forces without allowing them to flare up, to come up. But certain circumstances, when the mind is aroused, stirred, those hidden evil forces come up. No more controlling power to suppress them. When anger flares up, you lose your controlling power. After that you lose your sense of reasoning. Even shame and fear also no more. You forget your education, your religious background, or family background. You do not know what you say and you do not know what you are going to do. Mind cannot judge at that time. Then can create enormous mistake, disturbances, can become very cruel, a very dangerous person. But when that person is normal, everybody says he is a very good man. This is the nature of the mind. When you are good, I am also good. Because you don't disturb me. When you are bad, I also become bad. Because you disturb me, my mind disturbs you. That is why I told you this is very unreliable. So we have to handle, or we have to use this mind very, very carefully. There are so many things in this world to mislead our mind. If we have not cultivated, trained, developed our mind can become the most dangerous thing in this world. Human mind is so powerful, very dynamic force. One man's mind can shake the whole world. One man can destroy the whole world. The things discovered by the man's mind also can destroy the whole world. Every living being on this earth. This is the nature of human mind. Atom was discovered by the human mind. By using that atom, the nucleus weapons, human beings can destroy this world within 20 minutes. It has taken millions or billions or trillions of years to develop this world. But human mind can destroy this within less than half an hour. And now you can understand why the Buddha concentrated and contemplated, considered mind is the most important things. His Dhamma, his religion, his teaching based on human mind, not on God or heaven or anywhere. Human mind. He says, Mano Pubbangama Dhamma Mano Siddha Manomaya. First sayings of the Dhammapada. Human mind is responsible for all the good and bad things in this world. Human mind created. If that mind is not trained properly, naturally they use that mind to do more bad things. The reason is this. From our childhood, bad things we learn very easily. Not necessary to send anybody to a school to learn bad things. Not necessary to give private tuition to learn bad things. Not necessary to spend even $1 to teach bad things. Naturally they learn all the bad things. To teach good things you have to use your full effort. That is the nature of human mind. Religion is important here to divert or to direct this mind, to train to do good things or to be good. To do good is not very difficult. You can do good things. But not to do bad thing is very difficult. See, we cannot keep away from bad things. This is the nature of the mind. If the mind is not trained properly, why we use this mind for bad things? The reason is, in our subconscious mind, we have accumulated, collected so many bad habits, bad things. So we are used to do bad things. Life after life. That is why it is difficult to control. Naturally, mind goes to that side. Now we observe Sila, Pancha Sila, 5 precepts, 8 precepts. The meaning of this word Sila is very meaningful. Naturally, we do bad things. When we try to keep away from bad things, it is called Sila. Understand the meaning of this word Sila? Silang samadhiyami. I observe Sila. That means I try to keep away from natural bad habit. Otherwise we commit. Now telling lies, bluffing, swindling, cheating, disturbing, destroying, all these things are bad habit, bad thing. Very natural. So in the name of Sila, we try to discipline or train our mind not to do such bad things. That is the training period. The whole teachings of the Buddha categorized into 3 areas: Sila, Samadhi, Panya. Dealing with the mind, nothing to do with external forces. First we establish or lay the foundation of our religious life by observing Sila. Just now I explained. That is the foundation. That means we determine or we make up our mind not to do certain bad things by knowing they are harmful. By committing them we disturb others. we harm others, we destroy others. Then we have already laid the foundation to build up our religious way of life. If we are trying to do or to be religious without laying this foundation, our religious life can collapse anytime because no proper foundation. All the other activities you practice without sila, without discipline, without moral background, without cultivating your morals, the foundation is very weak, very shaky. That is why sila is important. Now when you conduct a religious service every day, you recite, you observe the 5 precepts, Pancha Sila, 5 kind of Sila. That is the foundation. Then why do you want to recite again and again? To remind you, to remember these are your Sila, these are your principles, these are your religious pillars. Then repeating, then remember very well. There is a very good lesson for us to learn from Muslims. Wherever they are, either roadside or inside the house or anywhere, when the time comes for them to pray, they kneel down and pray 5 times a day. What does it mean? For them to remember their religion. They never forget their religion. Always think, now the time comes for prayers. Remind their religion. Then they try to stick to their religion. But our people, even once a month, on full moon day also, they cannot remember their religion. In everything there's something for us to learn from other religions also. So this sila, the foundation, then come to samadhi. Samadhi means peace, happiness, satisfaction, tranquility we maintain in our mind. Now we have no peace. We have so many disturbances, worries, burdens, fear, suspicion, insecurity feeling. All these things are bothering, disturbing our mind. So we are not enjoying our life. We are in fear, always fear. So after laying the foundation of religious life by knowing these things are bad, then we gain some confidence. That confidence is very important. With that confidence, we try to tame that mind. How many things are there in our mind? There are more than 100, more than 100 evil forces in the mind. selfishness, anger, jealousy, cruelty. You see, jealousy, greed. These evil forces always pollute the purity of the mind. They encourage us to do bad things. By knowing they are our enemies, then we try to tame this mind. How to tame? I try to tame or train my mind. Then who is that I? What is that mind? Only one person, no two persons there. I, my mind, only one person. Then how are you going to train? Can. When you want to wash your palms, you go to the water tap and wash. Nobody has, only this your hand. There are 5 fingers. 5 fingers, then wash. I wash, I train, I discipline my mind. What are these 5? Mental faculties in the mind. Each mental faculty got its duty. One mental faculty contribute or support the other mental faculty. Then all combined together clean the mind. Learning also like this. Gaining knowledge, wisdom also like this. We have to use different mental faculties. Altogether, internal, external. 5. Here also got 5. Vedana. We have feeling, sensation. That is one mental faculty. That feeling gives a lot of messages to our mind. Then sanya, the recognition. We recognize this is so and so, this is good, this is bad, this is dark, this is white, this is yellow. That recognition is another mental faculty. Sankhara. Good and bad mental habit that we have developed life after life, not only within one lifetime, all are in the subconscious mind. So we have our own habit, our own character, nature, behavior, temperament, not given by another person, not given by our father and mother. They cannot give this. Not given by God, our own. Good habit and bad habit. To train the mind, we must realize the nature of the mind. Now if I am hot-tempered, I must understand my character is like this. If I am jealous type, I must admit I am jealous type of person. If I am greedy or selfish, I have to admit it. If I am stupid, I should not pretend. I have to admit I am stupid. Then we get the chance to learn. Otherwise, we never get the chance to learn. So these mental habits, mental tendencies are there. Then the last one is vijnana. Vijnana means the deciding factor, whether to do or not, whether to accept or reject. Because there is maturity in Vijnana. After going through other three mental faculties, and last one becomes stronger because of the influence of these things. Four mental faculties. Then senses, external things. We can see things, we can hear sound, we can smell, we can taste, we get the feeling. These things also support either to be good or to be bad. These are the 5 channels you have to use to cleanse the mind. Then the Buddha has given different objects according to our temperament, character, way of thinking, our attitude, our knowledge, our understanding, for us to deal with this particular object, to train the mind. Training. Then the mind become obedient, can control at any time. Now I cannot control my mind. I want to control, but I cannot control. That is why I told you I cannot rely. I cannot trust my own mind. When it is normal, yes, we can. When the mind is upset, disturbed by others, cannot control. There is no another method in this world, either ancient or modern, science, to train the mind. They have not discovered anything to train the mind. The things that they have discovered disturb the mind, become more wild, more selfish. What they have discovered for so many years by using their science and technology, now they are using. You can see what sort of disaster, destruction they are doing by using the things discovered by the human mind. What have they discovered for the development of the humanity? Nothing. Human beings become more wicked, more cunning, more selfish, more dangerous living beings. But they have discovered so many things to destroy, to burn the whole world. See how dangerous, how poisonous this human mind. There are no mercy, no sympathy, no kindness, no understanding, no feeling. The way how they destroy innocent people and their houses. We think we are very cultured, educated people. Animals never do this kind of thing. When you study the human history, according to the anthropology, theory of evolution, there were civilized human beings on this earth for more than millions of years ago. What happened? They go on building and building and building their civilizations And when they go mad, destroy everything. Now started already. Collapse everything. Destroy everything. Again start from A, B, C, D. That civilization. Again start from A, B, C, D. That civilization. Going on building and building and building and building for a few thousand years. Again destroy. There is one particular discourse given by the Buddha. It is called Mahasihanada Sutra. In that discourse, the Buddha has explained this. How the development and deterioration, ups and downs, mankind take place. What are the causes? Man is very cunning. After creating all sort of troubles and problems and disasters, he blamed devil. He said, done by the devil. See how cunning he is. Devil is going to destroy the world. When man becomes devil, he is the one who destroys this world. Again, by using his knowledge and intelligence, he do good things also. For that he is given by the God. He doesn't want to give the credit to man, given by the God. The Buddha is the one directly want to point out. Human mind is responsible for all these good and bad. Neither devil nor God. You are responsible. Therefore your duty is to train this mind properly. Then you too can gain this enlightenment, this supreme wisdom. Then you can find out the purpose of your life. You do not know why you are here in this world. Nobody knows. You do not know why you cannot satisfy with your life, although you have everything. And you do not know what will happen to you after your death. You create your own imagination. These are the problems. The purpose of life is not in somebody else's hand. It is in our hand. I am responsible for me, and you are responsible for you. I am not responsible for you. It doesn't work. You know, there is a nice parable in the Buddha's teaching. A teacher and his disciple, when they were performing some sort of acrobats in a circus, they had to perform very risky tricks, like climbing the top of a bamboo stick. Then the teacher told the disciple, the tricks that we are going to perform is a very risky one. Therefore, you must try to protect me. I will try to protect you. Then the disciple told him, Master, I don't think it is advisable or practical. If you try to protect yourself and I try to protect myself, it will work. Buddha gave this parable. Without depending on others to protect you, you must know how to protect yourself, to save yourself. You can go and pray and worship, asking somebody to save you, protect you. But you do not know, but you can save yourself. You can protect yourself if you really work for that. Buddhism is for that. Then you gain self-confidence. Then you don't become slaves to anybody. Not necessary to surrender to anybody. When the mind is strong, and the mind is energetic, when the mind gains this confidence, you can find the purpose of your life. From our birth up to the last breath, we are going on working day and night to earn something to settle our problems. That's all. But there is nobody in this world who could manage to settle all their problems simply by working like this. No one can die peacefully simply by working in that way. But you can gain hopes and confidence and die peacefully, and also maintain some sort of contentment in your life. If you know how to handle, how to use this life, without misusing, abusing and insulting, then the human dignity, humane qualities, human values, we can find there. The purpose of our life is to see the end of all our physical and mental problems. That's all. There is no any other purpose. Now, even 1 minute we cannot spend, either physically or mentally, without facing any problems. Always fear, suspicion, anxieties, selfishness, no happiness, no peace. When these rubbish are no more in the mind, when the mind becomes free, we experience complete happiness, peace, satisfaction. That is the purpose of our life. No more problem, no more suffering. So this we cannot find by praying or worshipping. You can worship and pray, no harm, very good. But you have to do this Sila Samadhi. Train your mind, control your mind, maintain peace in your mind, maintain satisfaction and contentment in your mind. Then the mind becomes peaceful. After that you gain the last one, Panya, wisdom, enlightenment. That means you can realize, you can understand everything. There is nothing for you to learn after that. Because you have removed all the dark clouds and dirts from your mind. Mind is free from dirt. Then you can see things very clearly. Now, the lens of your mind is dirty. A lot of rubbish. You have to clean the lens of your mind. Then you can see very clearly everything in this world. Then what are those dirts that cover the lens of your mind? Just now I mentioned your selfishness, your greed, your anger, your jealousy, your grudge, your ill will, and so many dirts, dark clouds. To remove these dark cloud dirt, the method here introduced by the Buddha. How to clean the mind? By following his advice. You can glorify after gaining something, or you have won the battle. But those who have won the battle never sleep peacefully. Upasanto sukham seti hitva jaya parajaya. Now here the Buddha says, only person who can sleep peacefully without fear is the one who is free from the victory and the defeat. Understand? So one who could manage to win the battle, just now I told you, create so many enemies. So his life is not safe. There is no security, there is no guarantee. Many people are jealous, many people have become angry, many become enemies waiting to kill. So we cannot say that he has won the battle. The other one who is defeated, he worry, he cry, he suffer. Both are suffering. Both are suffering equally. The one who has really won the battle is who did not join this battle and keep aside. And he can sleep peacefully because he has no such fear. He did not create enemies. Keep away from the battlefield. Then you can win the battle. If you really want to win the battle, you have to do only one thing. You must understand the nature of your own mind. By knowing that, try to tame and tame and tame and tame and tame and tame. Because you know your own weakness. Don't try to be self-hypocrite. There's nothing wrong with you. Something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with me also. Because you have not attained the higher stage yet. You have to work to get rid of this weakness. So the concept of I, my, egoism, create a lot of problems. When we train the mind, we reduce this. But people want to get the credit to show others that I did this. I am the one who did that. My name is there. My name is in the newspaper. My photo is there. Oh, very happy. Now this is called egoism. When we train the mind properly, we are not interested. It is childish, small children's way of thinking. That is called the development of the mind. To understand. Now you cannot disturb the mind of an arahant or saint or Buddha by scolding, abusing, accusing, using any kind of dirty, wicked, vulgar word. One Brahmin who was very angry with him started to scold him by using all the dirty words. He goes on scolding. Sariputta sitting just like a statue. This man is very angry because then Sariputta, he could not, this man could not tolerate. Did you hear what I said? Then Sariputta, what did you say? You didn't hear that I scolded you? No, I didn't hear. Because he was concentrating on something else and he did not listen to this word. This is the way how they train the mind. Next time, when another person comes and tries to scold you, you forget this person, think something else, then you cannot hear what this person says. You try and see that you cannot. That is meditation. Another person who was very angry with the Buddha invited him for makan in his house. When the Buddha entered into this house, this man started to scold the Buddha. Same dirty word. The Buddha was listening with smiling face, and he stopped scolding. Because he had no more word in his vocabulary to use. Then the Buddha, I will finish your talk. Yes. All right. Just now, you scolded me, isn't it? Yes. If I am not going to accept what you have given to me as scolding, who is going to accept it? You see, I do not know. If you cannot understand, I can tell you a parable. Supposing you invite some of your friends or relatives for a dinner, and you prepare nice food. If your relatives or friend did not turn, what are you going to do with your food? Oh, I eat with my family. In the same way, if I am not going to accept what you have told, you have to accept, isn't it? Oh, yes, it's right. See how the wise people face this kind of train. That is called the mental drift. I have given a simple parable in my latest book, How to Live Without Fear and Worry. How I could manage to overcome so many problems by using my mind properly. Many years ago, there was an old monk who used to come here, and he sometimes come and disturb us. Sometimes very nice to us, very funny character, always like this. So one day, I told one of his friends, I think something is wrong with that monk, something is like, oh. This man told him that I told he is mad. He was very angry, very fierce. Came to my office directly, straight away. He came out, why did you say that I am mad? Very fierce. Then I knew this is not a joke, Then I told him, do you know, I am also mad? What? How can you say you are mad? If I am not mad, how can I say you are mad? Believe me, he started to laugh. No more fight, no more shouting. That is called mental training. You must know how to settle our problem without aggravating, arousing anger or anything. We can overcome many of our problems. So human mind is very, very advanced if you really use it properly without misleading it. You have to train it. I think these few words are more than an hour, isn't it? I think you have not wasted your time. There are certain things for you to think, very seriously, to make up your mind. Very good for your future. And overcome your problem, settle your problem, to avoid certain disturbances and worries, if you really practice this. Thank you very much, sir. Not created. Formation. World is not created by anybody. The formation takes place gradually and gradually and gradually. When you study anthropology, you can understand this. Yeah. So, by formation, you mean the world factor? You can see it is rotating already. That's right. You are also rotating. I am also rotating. That's right. Everything. You take the numbers, it's not my number, anthropologist. Not mine. And I said anthropology says like this. Yeah. That I do not know. I mentioned what anthropology says. It is up to you. If you think it is not applicable, you can reject. If there are some who like to accept, they can accept. That freedom is there. Now I know everything is changeable according to Buddhism. Everything is changeable according to Buddhism. Everything is going on changing. Mind also going on changing. World also going on changing. Body also going on changing. Everything is changing. So, yes, anything else?
You also indicated that
Yeah.
We can learn from the Muslims, right?
Not only from Muslims, we can learn from small children also. There are many things to learn, even animal use. There are many things we have to learn from animals. Their unity and how they follow nature and how they go to bed at proper time and how you get up early morning and even without using toothpaste and toothbrush also they come out with white teeth and they are very happy. When they come out from the bed they sing and dance. When you come out from the bed your face will look like monkey's face. There are many things we have to learn from animals. Yeah. Muslim, Christian, Hindus, and those who have no religions also. There are many things for all of us to learn. Of course, that is only that particular item. When it is necessary to mention about other religions, then I mention their names. What else do you want me to mention? What is that? Yes, why? If you are concerned about Muslims, go to a mosque and try to learn some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They automatically prepare.
They remember.
But I believe that just because they outwardly and obviously prepare for prayer doesn't really.
So it is up to them. But we have to learn only that moral. You know, in every bad things there is some good lesson. You understand? Every dark cloud has a silver line. So their motive, their attitude is different. It is up to them. But the most important thing is they always remember their religion. If we also remember our religion and organize our religious activities, it is useful for us. Okay, enough. Only one question, one answer, because too late for me. See the time there. Any? No more. No time. I think. Yeah, because you are. Okay.
Thank you for questioning. Due to the time factors, no more questions allowed. So may all of you say Big Sadhu 3 times to Chief Reverend.
Akasattha Bummata Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumodittva Chirang Rakkantu Loka Sasanang Nittārtā Jamhi Sampatang Punya Sampadang Sabbe Devanumodantu Sabba Sampatti Siddhya Devo Asatu Kalena Sassa Sampatti Hetu Ca Pito Bhavatu Loko Ca Raja Bhavatu Dhammiko Idangho jati nang hotu sukita huntu jatayo imina punya kammena mami balagamo satang samagamo tu yava nibbana pattiya.